Hello everyone. Just wanted to do a little video on how to read a imperial micrometer because there are going to be some questions on the test that is on Wednesday. I'm going to use this virtual micrometer that I have here. I'm going to post a link in the course shell as well as this video so that you can play with it yourself and practice reading it. This picture that you have here is very similar to the flat scale that you would see on a test. I know a couple of you didn't really like the flat scale, but this is a nice illustration of that scale. And this is a pretty cool little tool. You can roll it yourself down here, or I think you could even do it there. Yeah, look at that. A whole bunch of adjustments. Anyways, so you can play with this. I will run you through how to read the micrometer, and then we'll do a couple of examples. And the nice thing about this one is that you can bang it through here, pause it, and then you can practice the measurement, right? Run through it, and then click this little eyeball down here, and it will show you if you're right or wrong. So first we'll run through what each of these things mean, what all these numbers mean, and then we will do a couple measurements together. Let's take this down to a 0. Oops, there, just to start with, and we will move on. So first things first, what you would do when you're reading a micrometer is or if you're going to read the flat scale, is you would pull this this sleeve scale first. I like to call these whole numbers. They're not whole numbers if it's a 0 to 1 inch, because they're all going to be below 1, but it is like the biggest number that you see. So because this is a 0 to inch micrometer, the whole reading that we can see here is a 0.4. So each one of these little numbers, these little lines in here, is a 0.025. So 0.025, 0.050, 0.075, 0.1. That's where you get that from. So 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, 0.4, and then in this case we have the thimble lined up with 0. You would take the reading directly to the left of the thimble for these little numbers, and we can see here 0.75 is lined up exactly, which makes sense when we talk about the thimble. So 0.75 is lined up exactly, which means that this would be a 0.475 reading. And then we move up into our vernier. Our vernier, the 0, is perfectly lined up on our vernier. Same thing up here. 0 is lined up, and that's going to be our fourth number, so 0.000 whatever. In this case it's 0. So our final reading for this measurement would be 0.4750. Let's see if we're right. We are right. 0.4750. Alright? Now, what can we do? If the thimble, so on the thimble here, each one of these is 0.0001. Can I drag this around? Oops. All the way up to 0.025, which, if you think about it, makes sense. So if you look at our sleeve here, let's start at 0, right there. So if we rolled this around 1, from 0 to 0, which is 25, so 0.025, we should end up at 475, right? We just did that measurement. Let's go all the way around. I went too far. There you go, right? 20, 24, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. Perfect. 25, well, perfect. It is what it is. It makes sense. Each of these, as you roll around, is equal to 0.025. So let's pick another measurement here. Let's make one nice, sort of simple one. Let's start at 4, or decimal 4, I should say. Decimal 4, and then we'll add in, I don't know, we'll roll it around to, let's say, 10, just to make it simple. Or actually, you know, let's get the vernier involved. There. Okay. So we have 0.4, decimal 4, because we're at the 4. We can't see our first scale, so we haven't even hit our 0.025. So then, in this case, what you would do is you would take the reading on the thimble that is below the index line. So in this case, we have 10, 11, 12. That means we have 0.412 because we have 12. We haven't hit our 25 yet. So 0.412. And then you would add on our Vernier number to the end of that number. So 0.412, and then you add 0.0002. In this case, our final reading should be 0.4122. And let's see if we're right. 0.4122. So it's just that so simple. I mean, I know I keep saying it's simple, and for some of you, like, you're an idiot. It's not simple. I can't get it. Don't stress over it too much. Just look at your numbers. Remember what each one of these are, and hopefully you'll be okay. The thimble is 25 as it goes around. Well, that's a big one. What do we get up to there? 1. Look at that. What the hell is that happening? That was impressive. I'm impressed with myself there. Anyways, let's do that again. There. Okay. You can see the reading. All right. Let's do one more, and then we will probably call it a video. We don't need to be too long, but I'll post this up, and you can post any questions or email me or whatever. We're always here for you. We'll do this last one. So here we have 0.6. Okay, our biggest number that we can see, it's a 0 to 1 inch micrometer down here. Our biggest number that we can see, again, it's not a whole number, but it is our biggest decimal number, we will say. I like to start with that. So our biggest decimal is decimal 6. We haven't rolled over to 25 yet. We haven't rolled over to 0.025. You can see that on the thimble. Okay, our thimble, the one we can see is 20. That's the closest one to our index line. That is 25, so if we rolled over completely, we'd be at 0.625, but we haven't done that yet. We're down here still. So we can see a 20. Our next line up is a 21. We take that line because we're in between 21 and 22. So we would add then, or what I like to do, is add 21 to 0.6. So you have 0.621. And then we move up into the Vernier because we want to get a little bit more accuracy. So we have 0.621. Here we have a 6, which is lined up nicely. They even highlight it for you in red, which is nice. So our 6 lines up perfectly with our line. Now on the test, it won't highlight it in red for you, but one of them will line up perfectly. So here we have 0.6216. Let's see if the number is right, and it is 0.6216. Alright, so there's going to be a couple questions, maybe, excuse me, maybe more than a couple, on the final test, or not the final test, but on the test that is going to be on Wednesday. It will open up after our virtual classroom. There will be some, and they will be involved this, imperial micrometers, either 0 to 1 inch or higher. It could be a 3 to 4. If it's a 3 to 4 inch micrometer, just remember that every reading is going to start with a 3 decimal. So 3 decimal. If this was a 3 to 4 inch and we were looking at this number exactly, instead of it being a decimal 6, it would be 3.6216. That's how that works. So you'll have a flat scale just like this. I'll post a link to this little tool, as well as posting this video. Watch the video, play with the tool, right? Practice some closing this off, close the little eyeball off, practice making a reading, and then seeing if you get it right. This is probably the best way to do it, I would say, because it gives you a perfect amount of practice, and it's nice and handy, and you can do any number you want, really. And that is about it. If you need me, shoot me an email. We are here. We're here to make this a good journey for everybody. Otherwise, I will see you on. Well, I won't see you on Tuesday. I'll be around on Tuesday. I have posted a chat box and a discussion board, so I am going to be there for regular school hours, but it is something that you are going through on your own. And then on Wednesday, we have a virtual classroom that we will get together in and meet each other virtually. Anyways, have a good night, and I will see you. Well, if I don't see you on Tuesday or talk to you on Tuesday, I will see you on Wednesday.